Hey, my name is Ike. Today I'm at Bountiful Gardens in Lawrenceville, New Jersey, and I'm going to show you some cool plants that are in our greenhouse here. Follow me. Have you ever heard of a plant that doesn't need soil? These are called air plants, a species of strange and interesting plant called epiphytes. In the wild, they're used to growing in the branches of trees or on the sides of cliffs, and they get most of the nutrient and water that they need by absorbing them through little scales on their leaves here. Since they don't need soil, they're easy to display in your home, but they still require two things: light and water. There are two ways to water these. The most popular one is using a spray bottle or a mister to really saturate the plant, getting an even coating on it, and then letting it dry that way. Or my personal favorite way is to put it in either a sink or a bowl of water, let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then once it's finished, you take it out, give it a good shake, and then set it upside down to dry so that the water can drain out from the center and doesn't rot the middle. Take good enough care, and they can even flower or produce miniature versions of themselves called pups. We carry a pretty large variety here, from our tiny tillandsias to our larger xerographicas, and even some mounted varieties and Spanish moss as well. One of the crown jewels at our Lawrenceville location is our vast collection of orchids. We have everything here from the ever-popular Phalaenopsis orchid to harder-to-find varieties like the fragrant Oncidium, Zygopetulum, or Paphiopedulum maundii, or the lady slipper orchid. In our first greenhouse, we also grow many other varieties like Dendrobium, Miltonia, Cattleya, and the harder-to-find varieties like variegated vanilla. Each species has slight differences in care and watering, with some preferring more water than others or varying degrees of bright light, but if you're ever unsure, just ask one of our team members. We're all happy to give expert care advice on any one of these. Did you know some plants eat meat? Well, bugs, to be more exact. These are carnivorous plants, and they get most of the nutrients they need by patiently waiting around for a bug to land right into one of their traps. There's the classic Venus flytrap, which snaps shut when 3 of its hairs are disturbed. There's the Cape sundew that's named for the dew on its leaves that's actually really sticky and traps its prey, and then the leaf slowly curls around its victim. There's the butterwort plant, which has these tiny delicate flowers that make sure to stay far away from the plant. So if you can see at the base there, the flat leaves kind of act like living flypaper. These are Sarracenia pitcher plants, which the bug flies in, and then it has tiny little hairs that are pointing down so the bug can't climb back out. Most varieties are small and live in bogs and swamps, so when you care for them at home, they prefer to be in medium light, and it's usually best to set them in a small dish of water to mimic that environment. Other varieties, like this massive hanging pitcher plant, prefer to be top-watered and drain out in between waterings so they don't rot. If you're not sure about the care for your carnivorous plant, just ask one of us. We're more than happy to help you out. These are Bromeliads, a type of tropical epiphyte closely related to air plants. They have these awesome funnel-shaped leaves that actually help to gather rainwater towards the center of the plant, kind of like a cup. So they prefer to be on the wet side. And in terms of sunlight, a bright sunny area is best, but they don't like direct sunlight, so usually 1 to 2 feet away from a window is pretty good. They're usually grown for their foliage, like this awesome neon here, or sometimes they have flower spikes, like this Guzmania, and the flowers on these last quite a few months, so it's a great way to add color to a room if you want a really long-lasting bloom. Another type of bromeliad that you might not even know is a bromeliad, a pineapple. The fruit itself is a flower, and then once these little purple petals are finished on there, it'll focus more on the pineapple itself. They'll only grow a mini one, but it's still a fun thing to have in the home. Pretty sweet. We keep a vast collection of cacti in store, like our miniature varieties like this mini grafted cactus, or collector's editions like this booby cactus here, or these massive specimens that have probably been grown for years now. A lot of people wonder what the care for a cactus is. It's actually pretty easy as long as you're giving them the 2 things they need: a lot of light, so as much sunlight as you can give them, and a decent amount of water. A lot of people think you only give them small amounts of water. That's not true. It's actually about how frequently you water them. So you want to soak them thoroughly, let it drain out, and then probably wait about 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even a month, before it dries out completely again, and then you give it another thorough soak. This will keep your cactus retaining water and growing healthily. A plant that we get a lot of questions about is this Euphorbia crown of thorns, and it's named that way because it has really sharp, spiky thorns running all up the spine there. And those are hidden by really dense green, or variegated in this case, foliage, and tiny, delicate flowers that come out from the base as well. It's actually better to keep these more on the wet side than the dry side, just because they drink water much more frequently than your standard cactus. We always keep a varied selection of rare and interesting terrarium plants, anything from succulents to violets to tradescantia to ferns. Anything you could possibly imagine in miniature form is in this greenhouse here. Plants like Asian and African violets in all different colors, like reds, greens, variegated. It's a sweet little tradescantia. This is another tradescantia. Miniature palea, like this palea artillery fern. Another great terrarium plant. Palea baby tears. Peperomia plants. So thanks for spending some time with me and the plants. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it down below and subscribe to our Bountiful Gardens YouTube channel so you'll be notified of all future videos. If you had any questions about any of the plants that I showed or suggestions for future videos, leave a comment down below for us. Thanks.